Hello. A lot of people are curious about my chest harnesses and for suspension in particular and how I do them. A lot of people do the self-tied like butterfly harnesses and stuff, which I don't know, so I'm not going to be teaching those. I'm literally going to go over two variations, a front and a back, of the one that I get the most utility out of, which is as a rigger, I'm utility based. So if it works, and I don't typically do many variations until it doesn't work, and then I do. So right now, this is what's working for me for pretty much all the self suspensions I've been doing. So that's basically what we will focus on as I zoom the camera in and we get started. Okay, so you will need a standard length of rope and then a shorty, typically for this kind of chest harness, depending on your body size. Maybe not. I don't know. But, okay, so we got our bite. We get started. And I'm going to try to go as slow as I can and kind of go over some of the ideas about whenever I lay this and the tension, some of the tension ideas included. So you always start at the top and you do a simple pull through on your bite. And it can be good practice. You see how I started it going this way? It can be a good practice to start it going the other way because then it forces you to do the whole thing like left-handed or mirrored or whatever. And if you're not practicing a little bit of ambidextrousness in your self-tying, you really should be because it can be learned a little bit. And something like this, because especially using this kind of chest harness over and over and over and over, as I do, because when we're doing it behind, you're literally doing the same thing forward, but you can't see, so you're having to feel everything out with your fingers. So you drill this thing enough up front, and it's going to work in back just fine. Anyway, all right. So you cross your bite or you reverse tension, then you go down. Now you want to take a deep breath at this point because this thing has the most potential to bite up here, and that's what you don't want. This thing needs to be basically just like a cuff that doesn't really move. But you don't when you take that deep breath, you don't want it to bite you too much. Let me see if I can get a little bit better of an angle here. Okay, and then when we reverse, we're going to go below. So, and then you're going to come in, take your finger and go through to the bottom. Grab this because you're coming out through the top. Okay. And this is your standard structure right here for the top. Now this thing is basically an independent piece. You could almost take a shorty and do a double wrap and just leave that and then do a bottom and shoulder straps and all that, and it would almost be about the same thing. But the idea behind this is you want to be able to take a deep breath because you're going to need to be, and you don't want it to bite you, and you don't want this. This has the most potential to irritate your underarms, so also make sure it's low enough because you don't want it too high up where those nerves are. But yeah, this needs to basically be comfortable when you take a deep breath, and it's not. We're going to make sure as we tie this thing that this thing is always coming away and it's never like tightening more than it is right now. So as long as you're really cool with that, we're going to make the stem, which feels good. It's good compression. We're going to grab the rib cage. I try to go down a little bit lower than right below the breast. So depending on how much support you want down low, your stem is going to be different sizes. But we're reversing going this way. So we'll go ahead and I take my other two fingers where you want to create the stem end. So this is about where I want it to end, right? So there I take it, and I take it all around, grab it here. Okay. You go in under, doing your reverse tension pull through. Now this, when you take your breath, you're going to adjust it right here because this is going to be, most of your load is going to be here and thus in your back or whatever. So when you come up and do it like this, you're going to come, and we're going below like we did again. But the thing is, we want to create like a little spine structure here that is not going to move because that's where we're going to, everything's really going to be pulling. It's going to do it even. So you don't want to just grab it and go back, right? You want to kind of make almost like a little C, like that. And as best you can, hold that in place while you go around and see how I let go, but it's still kind of in place. There's a little bit of slack here. So you go in, you do your reverse tension again. You got tensioned rope. And again, take your deep breaths. Because your deep breaths are going to tell you which bands are tighter than the others in the back, specifically. You're going to feel this most back here. It's really far, isn't it? Those are really far apart. Anyway, so we're doing the same move. We going under, and we're doing, again, that little C structure. You're going to kind of hold it there because you don't want to just take it and reverse it. Yeah, drink a non-alcoholic beer before you start this. Linzy19, real smart. Okay, extend rope usually about this point. So I'm going to go ahead and extend my rope. And get a shorty. Okay, rope is extended. Okay, so going back to the structure, make your little C in reverse. Okay, come around. Okay, so now we have it. So again, I just did the same thing. I just came back around, went under, and doing a reverse tension pull through. Sorry, I should have been a little bit slower about that last one. But this is all we're trying to make, is this right here. So, looks a little sloppy, whatever, it's not important. It's not. Okay, so at this point, the name of this game is we're pulling up front, right? So you don't want any individual band to not get pulled along with the other ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to create like a floor underneath this thing. So when it pulls, everything gets pulled up from the floor. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to like come under. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to come under and do a pull through. And then I'm going to fucking weave under this. And then I'm going to do it again between these. Weave under. Take me to the stem. Now what this has done is when this pulls, all three of these are going to pull together. And not one of these is going to get left behind. Okay, now, if you're not working with carabiners, you could just wrap the stem however many times you want. But the solution I found for the moving carabiner, which it didn't really bother me for a while, but it's gotten to the point where it does now. So I will show you how I build a carabiner into my stem. So I wrap it like once, depending on how big the stem is, maybe twice. And then take your carabiner, whichever side you're going to use, take it, wrap it in there once, twice, and then continue on. And then, so when you get to the shoulder bands here, you're going to come under, so that, remember, this thing needs to be kept together. So we're going to come under it, and we're going to come out to the top to go to this shoulder. This is creating one half of the floor to keep this thing together. Coming to our back. Let's see, we will go ahead and grab all three of these. I don't do munter or half hitches anymore. Whew. Ugh. Now I just do this. I go through, and then just a simple cross. Now I need a super shorty, which I actually brought because this is a short rope set. So I kind of prepared for this. I would need to extend again. Very unfortunate, but you know, sometimes it's just how the rope cookie crumbles. Okay. You may not need to do this, but I am extending rope one more time to finish this dumb thing. Okay. So. Come over to the side. Come back to here. So where you go from here is you're going to go underneath everything. And probably watch my knot be exactly where I don't want it to be. That's fine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you're going to make like an X right here. So you're going to come up this side. That's great. And then you're just going to wrap the stem going the opposite direction. You probably won't have as much rope as I have, but ideally you do want to make it to the bottom. And if your rope is not long enough to weave, and like you don't have to grab the carabiner again. I'm just kind of eating up rope, and I'm actually not going to grab the carabiner again. I'm just going around it, and I'm going to... You do need to get back into the structure, though. If you're trying to end it here, and you have a carabiner, I wouldn't do it. But I don't know. I mean, we're different, you know. So I'll go here. I will continue to make a floor on the bottom by making sure that everything is going to get pulled together. Here's the ones that aren't, so I'll grab those two. Oh, now at this point, we can go ahead and lock it off somewhere. I don't know. I'll never teach a class on lock-offs. Okay, something like that. So test it. Give some feedback on what it feels like. Okay. So here, let me do the camera a little better. Whew. Okay. Feedback wise, it seems to maybe bunched a little back here, so you could do, I mean, that's to be expected, but you could do a little bit of a redress, but this is pretty even. I feel like there might be one band that's looser. Oh. But what you're doing is, at this point, you're testing the armpits, you're testing the shoulders. I've never had a problem with shoulder straps, this kind of style. But I have heard, in general, a lot of people have shoulder strap, like injuries and stuff, you know, and so when they do suspension in general, not like self-suspension or anything, but I have yet to run into a lot of problematic shoulder straps. Oh, okay. And I'm wondering if I could maybe do this without the shoulder straps, because at some point they don't, I mean, they are supportive, but I don't feel like they really contribute too much. I feel like I could have done a little tighter on top, honestly. And maybe if I had actually built the carabiner a little higher, I'm not sure. Like, this isn't bad. It's obviously not meant to be done by itself for a full... Like, if I were to, like, pull my legs up, like... like, I don't know. I mean, if I use rope and pull my legs up, this is, you know, there wouldn't be any issue with this. But, like... but it's functional, you know? Yeah, whether you're hanging upright or not, I'm sure has something to do with that kind of injury. Also, of course, moving in the suspension, you know, once the nerve is compressed and you're moving it, you know, that can be issues as well. I mean, that's how I gave myself the little injury of the little write-up one I did where basically I lost sensation in the surface of my skin on the side of my thigh for like a few weeks. It was like barely something you'd even notice, and I didn't notice it in the time of the suspension, but it was doing a flying hog tie, and it's when I sat up. It exposed that, like, one nerve folded over another, from as best I can understand it. But... So my feedback on myself is I probably could have done this a little tighter. I think I was a little too, I wasn't generous enough with this, because it says most of everything is here. And actually I feel like these are more supportive than this. So for my thing, I probably could have made that a little snugger, but as I'm trying to talk and do a class, I was like, do not make that too compressive, because you'll sit there and be like, hold on guys, hold on, it just feels good. Hold on. But anyway. So that is, this is it. This is how I do pretty much all of my front ones. I want to show you real quick. I'm going to take it off. Before we do the back, I'm going to just kind of run through it like full speed real quick. Just to give you an idea, but let's see if I can get it off me. Yeah, building the carabiner into it is fairly new. I still haven't figured out always in the position whether going lower is better, going higher. But generally, I find it's a lot better, especially in the Fudo, because when you're doing a Fudo and you build the carabiner into it, it's I don't know. It gives you more control over it, and I feel like that's really important. It's more important in a Fudo than it is chest, maybe? I don't know. Okay. Ow. Whew.
Yeah, I don't have anything to hang on, but I think this would be really good as a ground anchor too.
A ground anchor in what way?
Huh? Oh, to hold forward body down towards the ground.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And so that's why I named this class for utility and not for suspension. Because either of these chest harnesses you can do just to like mess with somebody or like, floor play wise, if you got it on the back, you can pick them up. Like they're, and it's a good way to show somebody what weight, load bearing feels like without actually putting them up. It's like a lot of riggers will like to do that where they're doing floor play, especially with somebody who's inexperienced, and they'll kind of pick them up to give them like a little sensation. But unless you're really, unless you're doing it right, the sensation may not be that great. But this is supportive enough that like you can pick somebody up by their back in a booty basket if they're like in like a puppy dog tie or something, and just kind of like like luggage and just move them or something like you know. So utility, objectifying. Things. Okay, so real quick, I do, since we got enough time and the back one is going to be good, I just want to give an example of generally, these things, once you do them enough, like they do come very, very simply and naturally, and I think that's one thing. It's really important when you're doing rope to not overthink it. And I think that's something that a lot of people with like tutorials and lessons and books tend to do because it's a heavy exercise we're doing. It's like, very knowledge intensive, but a lot of, my big breakthrough was putting away the tutorials and kind of just going. So I think, I don't know, I just think it's drilling something is good. If you don't have something you drill that's yours, like I took on the title of the Futo Mother for like a year there, like Futo Mama. Yeah, there's some lore involved. But basically, I would just do Futos. Like that was all I would do for like months. I would just sit around on my chair, doing my like show or whatever, and I would just sit there and Futos, all these different Futos. And now, how many Futos do I do? Like one. It's like, but it's really like important to be like really like comfortable with something. Whether it's a certain tie or a type of tie. Booty baskets, if it's booty baskets, those leg ladder ties. Find something that you like really click with and become an expert in that. Because I pretty much at this point, these chest harnesses have become such a, easy thing to do that, and they're the main structure of most of the suspensions that you're going to want to do unless you're really into like leg stuff, like single Fudos, like, back bends, like all the single booty basket things that people do. But this is, oops, went the wrong way. But this is going to basically be your bread and butter. And the more you do it up front like this, the easier it's going to be to do it back. And then just like a cheap lock off, like pull out what you just put through. something like that. We'll test it real quick. Oh god, this is better than the other one. This one's way better than the other one. Yeah, this one's better up here. It's actually supporting me up here and back here. Yeah, so anyway, that's what it looks like in the back. I think I twisted the rope the wrong way, actually, on the stem back there. Oh well. I say oh well, and then the whole thing just like comes off me, like fall. You know, there's only so many corners you can cut before, like, you know, Dagon catches up with you. Okay, anyway, why am I... Hold on, let me unhook myself. What am I doing? Oh, anyway, I'm going to undo this one, and then we'll go through the back one, and then that'll be it. And we'll have maybe a little bit of open rope or discussion or whatever. I'm probably going to do a self-suspension from this backloaded one, so anybody who wants can watch that after the class is done. It's like, you know, but this is going to be the most difficult thing you'll do, is building a backloaded one. So I'm not going to put one on me and then just not use it. It's just, no. That's not going to happen. I probably do need to turn the AC down, though. I'm going to untie and turn on the AC. It got hot in here. I need a noiseless fan. Just without the shoulder, yeah. Oh, cool. Alrighty. Nightmare time. Okay, let's do it. Let's just go for it. Yeah, what's up? You could try using a mirror, but I highly recommend against it, because if you get addicted to that kind of thing, you know, mirrors are a gateway drug, a gateway to another dimension. You know, you don't want to go to mirror land. So don't get lost in the mirror. Just do this all by fingers, and don't you dare think of trying to use your webcam. Anyway, so you're doing you know what? Actually, I do start it up front. I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing? I do start it up front usually, and I do my reverse. Take your breath, figure out where it needs to be, and then I spin it. Okay. There it is. So you're going to go... Remember, this is your stem, so you do want a little bit of a stem. Okay, and then you're going to make it a little C shape, just like this. And go back around. And come back. This is what it looks like up front so far. Very simple, as it should. Getting ready for our extension. build your floor. Or reinforce your spine, however you want to think of it. Whatever general metaphors work for you. And then we're going to go up and do the step. Okay. This is where you better not try to look in the camera or the mirror. This is where you get sucked in. Shit. Now I'm overthinking it. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. Alright. There it is. Oh, I looked. Oh no! I just like turned to dust in front of everybody. It's like, is that Eurydice or was it Orpheus in Eurydice when he's like leaving Hades and like totally just looks back at the last minute? Like, can you believe that? I'd be so embarrassed. Okay, and then you're gonna go away from the carabiner. Oh. Probably gonna have to do that extra rope extension for this one. And then you gotta make sure come underneath that top band. So there it is. That's how you know you're pulling away. And you're gonna grab everything together. And then up we go. So that's what it looks like. Okay. Come here. You know, I don't know if you go over it or under it. I just don't. So we're going to go over it. I don't know. You want to go the other way. Okay. Nah. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to go back to finish it up. This is the worst part. Especially since I'm pretty sure I do need to do that little tiny rope extension. This is my life. Okay. We're going to do it. We're going to cheat. We're going to do it real close. We're actually going to do it right there. Okay. Yeah, this rope set, yeah. It needs to get worn in more. It'll like stretch a little bit the more I use it. It's probably my like newest-ish one. My least used. Really pretty though. I love like the smoke color. It's great. Call it my vape set. My MLG gaming set. Okay. You go under, opposite. I like to use my thumb to do that. Like so. Wrap them up. Reinforce the stem. Avoid the carabiner. I would. You don't have to listen to me though. Oh, make sure you do your finger exercises. Okay. Coming back into our little bottom structure, arguably the most important structure of this whole thing. We can argue about a lot of things. We're not going to. Because we're all friends here. Do another. This is like the hardest part for me. And there's a lot of like fuck it attitude that gets involved here. So you gotta be careful of that. You gotta manage that while still finishing the thing without getting frustrated and too sweaty. Because this is it. Like you're there, but you hate this. Who am I talking to? Am I talking to me? Okay, tie off. It's like a little fisherman's knot thing or something. What's that?
So sweaty. Why have you done this?
I'm sweaty. Look, who's got pits? Take a picture of your pits, post it on Fat Life. Be like, I got these pits. I went to Linzy19 self-tying class, and all I got was these wet pits. Okay. We're gonna test this thing. I'm gonna take it. I want to take it a little bit lower. Actually, I want to actually take some rope and. Do I really want to do that? Yeah. No, I don't. I just want to test it because I am going to do something with it probably. Okay. So, what if I got stuck like this? Oh God, that's good. Yeah, that's real good. So, I almost think it could have came up a little bit more. So that's something I'm still learning. When I load it from the front, I usually like it down a little bit lower. But when I load it from the back, I think I like it needs to be a little bit higher to better grab all the ribs instead of like squeezing my guts. I'm just kidding. It's really not that bad. So let's see if I can redress it up a little bit. This, honestly, I think would be better if it was loaded higher up. Maybe. Being like a little overly critical of this work now. Oh no. Just somebody like literally just came in. I have to go ban. Can somebody go ban that dude who just came in to the server? I'm a little tied up right now. I'm not. I can come out. Ah! Oh, gosh. Okay. I dropped my mouse. But, anyway, let's see. How do I do it? I'm still learning how to work this whole thing. Let's see. Okay, anyway, I'll just end the video and we'll continue on to the other thing I was going to do. So anyway, this is essentially it, the backloaded version. My personal criticism of me here, I would do a much shorter stem. I do shorter stem, hook me right a little bit more below the breast instead of as far down as I've gone. Gosh, actually it's like converting this into like a front load right here would actually be dope. But yeah, that's essentially the whole class on chest harnesses for utility. Not much else to say. And that's the point of it. It's like, just get you there, and that generally is my rope philosophy is just get you there. Whatever it is, self hog tie, Fudo, chest press, chest harness for compression. If you want decorative, then get you there. But, I generally just want to float around and be comfortable by myself without some mean top tying me up and then never talking to me again. Trauma just showed. Oops. How embarrassing. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed. So yes, why am I untying this? Well, because actually I don't want to go up on this thing. This thing kind of sucks. I'd probably rather do a single Fudo lift or something. I don't know. But yeah, essentially that is the class. I'm going to go ahead and I'll finish the video when I'm done untying the thing. If you have any questions or any clarifications or want to turn on your mics or anything, you're more than welcome to. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I was like almost thinking, I was like, maybe I should look something up, like something else to teach. But I was like, literally, like, I mean, for this kind of thing, I don't do anything else, Sure, call. Yeah, I come back to another class, So, feel free to litter our little self-tying thing with any like pictures of stuff you're working on. If you're working on any self-suspension or I should do specifically maybe, I don't know, cut those up into like floor play and self-suspensions or something. I don't know. But yeah, you should definitely share any of your work or progress, Continue to engage with the server and grow. We're getting steadily more unhinged in here, so look forward to things like that. Whew. God. doing when you're like, if you go to the gym and you walk on a treadmill or anything, or like, good arm exercises is just like trying to do like just your reverse angel prayer or TK positions while you're like, doing these kind of stretches can really help a lot in your self tying. I mean, they help great for bottoming too, holding like TK positions. But like the main thing is it lets you get up in there. So that's a major component of building things that are backloaded and working behind your back in general. Um, so be aware that is something you want to work on is your arm flexibility. Oh gosh. Nolan. Oh, thank you, naughty bad girl. Y'all are great. Thanks for helping me defend the server today, y'all. Sorry everybody got fucking like porn put in their faces. I was like, I got there like 10 minutes late. I was like, I don't even know how to ban somebody. I was like, this is all new to me. Yeah, anytime I've made a community, it always grows to a point where I just like put my foot down and I'm like, all right, I've got to knight like fucking 7 people to come do all my dirty work for me. I think that's a key for my energy. What's that?
I don't mind doing the dirty work. I get a lot of time in the back of the truck during work.
Yeah. Well, it's like a
Yeah.
lot of like I tend to go from I got this to I'm completely overwhelmed in like 5 seconds. Like, that's what happened with the server today. I was just like, wow, now we're getting spam bots. I just can't deal with this. Or like I can, but not alone.
Former Rat King.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I kind of want to do something, but I just don't know what. I have a Dark Souls date tonight. How lucky am I?
Wait, you got a Dark Souls date?
Yeah, he's gonna watch me stream Dark Souls 3. Yeah.
I've been wanting to do a cam for